Good afternoon, good day, wherever you may be in our global viewing audience. My name is Sam Otero. They call me Mr. E, and you are watching another exciting episode of Gathering Steam, all things STEAM education. We talk about science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math in this exciting and fun educational television format. Now, today we're going to be talking about art and an opportunity for young people all around the globe to engage with the Smithsonian National Museum of African Art. A special guest in the virtual studio with me today, Pierre Pinnock, the curator for K-12 education at the National Museum of African Art at the Smithsonian. Welcome so much to the show, Pierre. I'm really excited about what you guys are doing, and I'm excited about this conversation. Welcome to Gathering Steam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. We're really excited at the museum to be partnering with the Computer Clubhouse Global Network. There's so many wonderful things going on at the museum in regard to high school students and middle school students, as far as getting a different view of Africa, looking at the world through an African lens. And I say that because this is really a wonderful time to be working at the Smithsonian National Museum of African Art. Right now, Afrofuturism is very popular. African fashion is popularized, even more commercial. But even so, a couple of weeks ago, Beyonce had premiered a film on Disney entitled Black is King. Black is King is basically her curatorial depiction of the African arts. But what I love is how she actually juxtaposed ancient African civilization with contemporary Africa. I don't even know if viewers often caught it, but through each scene you saw a little bit of the ancient Africa mixed in with a little bit of the new. And this is where the genius of Beyonce came from, where she was able to show an appreciation for what is behind, what is past, and how we can't truly understand the beauty of in Africa today without truly appreciating the past. So at least 65 million people have seen that film. They were introduced to Africa through an African lens. And because of that, in education and STEAM, we have an amazing opportunity to take that interest, that spark in Africa, and sort of carry it into curriculum, blend it into STEAM through storytelling, through mathematics, through economics, through philosophy, languages. The list goes on and on. So the beauty here is all of the amazing things we can do technically with the images in African art.
It is incredibly exciting. I was reading down through the various criteria that you're offering students in terms of the different modes of expression that you're open up to. So let's talk about the project here that you're working in collaboration with the Clubhouse Network. I was very excited about this as well when I first plugged into the Global Clubhouse Network and I saw the email and I saw the forum post and I'm reading down through. You guys are giving all sorts of opportunities for young people that are engaged in STEAM education around the world to exercise their thoughts, their critical thinking, their artistic skills, blending it with everything within the realm of STEAM, but you're giving them the opportunity to express themselves in a wide variety of different mediums. They can do film reviews, book reviews, they can make product, they can make PowerPoints, snap a picture of the favorite piece of art on the website and render that and design a superhero and tell a story about it. It's really cool how you guys are opening up all of the senses, all of the possibilities, and really just taking a fabulously wide open project-based learning approach to exploring the African culture. I think it is absolute genius and its simplicity. And I think that's the beauty of STEAM education. So, kudos to you guys. This is great stuff.
Thank you so much. I also give the teens and the mentors an opportunity to create their own projects. I start them off, with a platform and a plethora of different ideas, and they can take those ideas and expand on them. I always welcome other projects that they might want to do. One of the projects that the museum is introducing is creating your own virtual tour of Africa, which I think is interesting, with images that they can use on our website and then creating sort of a story about those images. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for children to expand their own imagination and jump into projects that they want to do. This is really open. This is an open opportunity with no rules, because, as you know, art is not formulaic. It's not A plus B equals C. Art exploration, video literacy, media literacy is very objective. And because I want children to sort of create on top of that objectivity and to explore what interests they have. If a student wants to write a song, and basically is very interested in African hip hop culture, but maybe the individual is interested in African hip hop in another language. There are Mauritania hip hop groups that hip hop in sort of a broken French, and students can actually explore other languages
Hmm.
in Africa by exploring through a category that they're interested in, which is hip hop. If a student is interested in dance, they can explore different types of African dance throughout the continent, and then possibly do sort of a TikTok version of their own replicated African dances that they've been exploring and post that. The sky's the limit. You know, I've met students and I've worked with students who love to write.
Hmm.
So some students may want to create a graphic novel based on an African hero that they've seen, or one that they create from one of the images they see in our art museum. And they may want to explore writing books or stories about Afrofuturism. So I think writing short stories is a great sort of beginning to maybe writing a novel. And I've worked with students that have written novels before, and I think it's fantastic when they use art museums as sort of the muse to write a novel. And so basically, I really believe today young people, their imagination is so limitless and it expands in so many different directions. Technology can play a huge role in aiding those interests and helping their imagination go as far as it can, as far as it can stretch. Letting young people know, never give up on their dreams. Their imaginations and their ideas are fine, but it's only wrong when they give up on their dream or they question their own imagination. So that's what we're here for. I think a collaboration with the Computer Clubhouse and the African Art Museum is amazing, because the amount of creativity that can come out of that type of amalgamation, to me, is incredible. It's timely, and the time is definitely now.
And it's boundless. I mean, we'll really, again, I go back to that project based approach. I love it because we're giving them the basic theme, but we're empowering them with all of the tools that they need to be able to really excel in their own personal pathway and their own personal mode of expression that they choose. I think that's it's such an, I keep using that word, but it really truly is an empowering model. And I'm so excited about this. Tell us a little bit. I'm excited about being part of the Computer Clubhouse Network. This is really very cool. I'm relatively new to this job here, and when I finally got plugged into the network,
Mhm.
things settled down after the pandemic
Right.
hubbub, and I'm finally getting plugged in here, and I'm going, this is incredibly exciting. And
Yes.
for those of you who aren't familiar with that, we're going to put the links up there, and you can go and check out the Computer Clubhouse Network and look for an opportunity locally. There are multiple clubhouses in the DC region here. Um, tell us, how did this collaboration come across? I mean, you're here, you are working at the Smithsonian. How did you guys get together with the Computer Clubhouse?
Well, it's actually a personal story. I was sort of a volunteer mentor at the Computer Clubhouse back in 2010. I had two teenagers at the time, and I was looking for an outlet. I was homeschooling my children, and I wanted to find another venue where they could explore beyond just the book learning atmosphere that I was providing at home. So the Computer Clubhouse looked like a wonderful opportunity for my children to not only meet other children their age, but to explore other avenues, to have other instructors besides myself, other mentors besides myself. So my children loved the Computer Clubhouse. My daughter stayed the whole time from ninth grade to 12th grade. She even received a Computer Clubhouse scholarship for college. We were really excited about that. But as a mentor there, I was allowed to create with the teens. And so I just ended up working with the teens every day after school, everything, you name it, from writing and performing plays and book clubs and poetry workshops and opportunities to put together films. And so I had a relationship with the Computer Clubhouse prior to working at the Smithsonian. And I realized the value in what the Computer Clubhouse brings. What it does is it opens up the world to all children, to let
Yes,
them
it
know
does.
that once they see that screen, they realize that they can travel. They realize that there's opportunity out there. They realize that, wow, there's not some, there's, it's not just there are so many things that I can do, but I can actually connect with students in Bangladesh, in the Philippines, in
Exactly.
Israel, and learn a little bit more about another culture. In that way, maybe when I graduate, I can travel, or maybe even consider going to college or the Peace Corps in another country. But this is expanding the imagination. This is opening up dreams. This is giving children ideas. That's what the Computer Clubhouse does through technology. And on top of it, it's fun. Children have an opportunity to work with other kids, work with mentors who really care and are wonderful, and work on collaborative projects, because more collaborative work is the future. We have to learn how to work collaboratively.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I brought up, I taught a STEAM class for the county school district here over their summer program, and I asked my kids, because they were, what is this? What is this STEAM education, STEM education? And I said, how many of you sit through your academic classes and class after class and PowerPoint after PowerPoint and worksheet after worksheet, and you walk away going, when am I ever going to use this? Right? Everybody in the virtual room raised their hand. That's the typical educational model. And I said the beauty of STEAM is that you see the connections between the academic pursuits and the technical and the artistic expression and the engineering facet, and how everything, all of it all comes together. But you are not just given the answer, and you're putting it together and connecting the dots on your own through your own discernment and your own digging. And it's a phenomenal model. And I said to them, the beauty of it is, this is how the real world works. When you face a challenge at your house, you've got to come up with something. You've got to exercise research skills. You got to dig in and find a solution. You got to cross-reference with your partner and take a look at the checkbook and say, we got enough money to pay for this. If we don't have enough money to pay for it, we got to exercise our accounting skills and crunch some numbers and figure out where are we going to get it. We got to address timelines. This is just basic problem solving. And kids, once they recognize that they do have this ability, man, they just light up. and all of a sudden there's a whole bright world in front of them, you know?
Exactly, exactly. And what I often do is in explaining why we are learning about technology in this
Hmm.
way, I often talk to students about the Industrial Revolution in this country and how after the Industrial Revolution to me was sort of the kickoff of technology because that's when everything just started moving so rapidly and people had to adapt to the change. There were a lot of changes that were going on. A lot of people had questions. A lot of people did not understand. There was a sort of mystification following the Industrial Revolution in this country. And I think that when my young people understand the Industrial Revolution, they have a better understanding of why they're feeling the way they're feeling, the questions that they have, and actually what is going on. So, this is like a good time for us to talk a little bit about the history in this country of technology, what Einstein said about technology, and how rapidly it would be moving fast. And then understanding when that seed of technology really took off in this country.
Hmm.
And then they have a better, more clear understanding of why things are happening so rapidly now, but most important, how they fit in and how they need to process what's happening.
And I think another thing that's so cool about this, and I see this in your project here, not only are we promoting through STEAM the technical skills and the academic skills and the problem solving skills, but digital
Yeah.
citizenship. That is a huge thing right now. One thing, any young person out there, I know y'all want to be the next big YouTuber, and yeah, you can go on the internet and you can get on YouTube and you can make millions of dollars. There's people out there doing it. But never forget that you are a unique creation with unique skills and a unique voice. And you have an opportunity and therein a responsibility to use your talent and voice to make this world a better place. And these technologies are so empowering now. One person can go out there and within a few weeks catch fire and have a bigger audience than CNN.
It's very, very true. It's understanding the connection. I agree, this is much bigger, but it's interesting because I was talking to some students going off to college. They were majoring in engineering. I think one was going to Cornell, the other one was going to RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology. And they were saying to me, what's an engineering degree without an imagination? And, bottom line, no brainer, you can't get an engineering degree without a strong imagination and without one that's completely and evolving at a fast rate. Well, how do you build up your imagination? How do you get your imagination evolving the way it should? And simple literature through reading books, through reading other people's minds and deconstructing other people's minds and discussing literature and writing about it and researching about it. Literature helps the mind sort of unlock so many other dimensions that are sort of built there, but they need to come out. But then it allows you to explore and imagine on your own, just discussing other people's mindsets, looking at life through other people's lens. So the connection again with STEAM and the arts, the liberal arts, to me, it's just sort of that natural blend that happens where you can't have one without the other. And that balance is so important.
Well, tell us about this project. All these young people out there across the
Okay.
globe listening, tuning in on the Computer Clubhouse Network, and they're excited and they want to be a part of it. And tell us about the project. We know about
Yes.
the genesis of it. What's the
Yes.
theme? And I didn't dig in. I sh- I should just let you talk. Are there going to be Are there going to be prizes for this? Showcases? What's the end game here for the young people that are taking part in this? So you have it. Tell us
Thank
about it. Absolutely.
Thank you, Sam, so much.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning this. The name of the project is called Peace Warriors for the Arts, and I
Hmm.
created this specifically for the students that are enrolled in the Computer Clubhouse Network
Oh
because they,
wow. So
yes, I
this is
created this.
specifically for our network.
Yes, it is. Just because
Outstanding. We're,
because they're all over the world, and this gives students an opportunity to connect through the arts.
that's
The
great.
apps, the idea about peace, of course, fosters understanding.
Hmm.
And I think right now in the world, what I don't see enough of is programs for young people that they're involved in peaceful tasks or leading up to peaceful understandings. Um, I see a lot of programs that are about sustainability and resistance, and there's always a platform in place for that. But there's also a platform in place for activities and understanding. And many people are seeking sort of an understanding of what's going on. And so I think creating an understanding of peace through the arts, through through workshops and through writing stories and through creating films and through just creating programs and music, all of that, anything that creates peace and understanding, other students from all over the world will be able to connect. Now, each student has the opportunity to work with their mentors at the Computer Clubhouse on 2 or 3 projects that are listed on our website. And I've sent it also to the Computer Clubhouse Network. And once the students have completed the project, those projects will be featured on our website where the world will see it. Also, the students all will receive a certificate that they did complete the project. We're giving students 6 to 7 months to complete 3 projects completely. And at the end, when they finished, we will feature them on the website. But we want to
Wow.
give the students an opportunity not to rush the projects. And these projects will be featured, including the Computer Clubhouse that participated, where that Computer Clubhouse is located, the names of the students that participated, and their projects will be listed. It could be poetry, it could be a film, it could be a visual artwork that they created using oil paints, or it could be mixed media. It could be a cartoon strip they created. It could be a story. But either way, whatever they create, we will feature it on the website in a special gallery. So to let them know that this is here to stay. And the beauty of it is that when they apply for scholarships and when they apply for colleges, they can always refer on their application, they can always say, I did this project for the Smithsonian Museum and the Computer Clubhouse. And here, see my work. See what I did outside of the classroom. See the time that I put in. And so the beauty of it is that when a student can actually put down a link or put down a reference and say, I did this, with these 2 amazing organizations, it's there. And so colleges can see it, scholarship committees can see it, maybe discuss that with the student. These are independent projects that will follow these students forever, and they will always have positive outcomes.
That's amazing. And what an honor it would be to interview some of the winners on Gathering Steam and give them this platform to tell the world about their inspiration and their career aspirations. This is so exciting. I mean, something like this can change lives. Will
Yeah,
change lives.
exactly. Because of the message of understanding. I have one student who had told me she wanted to participate in this, even though she's not a Computer Clubhouse member. Her ideas were very interesting because she wanted to explore women's issues across the globe, and she wanted to use African art as the platform to explore women's issues. And I thought that was really interesting. So she is using, we have thousands of objects in our collection. Each student will have the opportunity to explore the thousands of objects in our collection and in our archives, to use that to create. And this is the beauty, the challenge, but also the beauty to override that challenge and come out with something that you're proud of, something that is sustaining, but something that also speaks peace, because we have to remember that the theme is peace. So the challenge of finding the artwork, trying to keep within the theme of peace, and then trying to create something that communicates to an audience that may have questions, but the art already displays the answers that the questions of patrons looking at it may have. And so that's what we want to create.
That's outstanding. Pierre, I'm going to go ahead. You sent me a bunch of links. You guys are doing some
I
cool
did.
stuff out there. I mean,
I
this project is phenomenal. But I'm going to pull up
think
some of these websites and maybe tell us a little bit about it. So let me go ahead and over to your
sure,
site here. And I'm
definitely.
going to, we'll start with your main site. And here we go. Let's start with the exhibit as a whole. We have fragments of speech, an online creative writing workshop, creative writing workshops for K through 12, open mic night that you guys are hosting now.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
exactly.
So tell us a
I
little bit about some of these initiatives.
Sure, there's a lot of them actually. I'm actually teaching a writing workshop next week on one of our current exhibits called Caravans of Gold Fragments in Time, and it's looking at art of the sub-Sahara African region, but fragments and pieces found during the medieval era, and a lot of these fragments and pieces tell stories. What I find is interesting is that the way teens could look at it is that right now in their home, they have fragments spread out. 5, 6, 800 years from now, 1,000 years from now, how will people understand life here or even have an opinion about life here just by studying the fragments that we leave behind in our home for someone else to find 1,000 years from now? So the beauty of this particular writing workshop gives students the opportunity to write creatively, to think critically, and to be problem solvers, but also to think about creating their own writing assignments for their peers, and to come up with different ideas about how they view history, but how much history influences them today. How much of these fragments we find from 1,000 years ago, how much of that do we see today, and how much do we understand where we are today because of yesterday? And so that writing class will be next week. I teach an elementary, a middle school, and a high school.
Oh, wow.
I know, so that's going to be fun. And our teen open mic has already passed, but it's received a ton of views on Facebook and on YouTube.
I saw that. Pretty
And
cool stuff. A lot of spoken word too. I was expecting to see a
yes,
lot more music, but a lot of kids would just went up there and poured their heart out, poetry and spoken word. It was very, very cool.
thank you. No, the
Yeah.
students worked really hard. Actually, they had to do research on our exhibit called Heroes, Principles of African Greatness, which is another opportunity. This is another opportunity for Computer Clubhouse members to look at the exhibits that we have up currently at the museum. So in addition to our collections, students will also look at the exhibits we have. Heroes, Principles of African Greatness is a very popular exhibit right now at the museum. And the student poets had to literally look at each object in that exhibit. They had to read about it, do
Hmm.
research, and the focus of their poem had to be about inclusive leadership and social responsibility based on the images that they saw and that they were absorbing in the exhibit. Basically, each poet, all six of them, processed this exhibit completely differently, which is what I really wanted. That was the goal. But I
Absolutely.
loved how that exhibit spoke to them individually, and then how they were able to project how they see themselves as a hero of inclusive leadership and social responsibility.
This is fabulous. I can't tell you how excited I am that you and I met. This is
Yeah.
great. I'm so thrilled to be a part of this network and these new connections that I'm making in this community. It's terrific, and I'm excited about this show. What do you think about what we're doing here with this gathering steam concept?
I think it is timely, and I think it is something that students want to see. Right now, during the pandemic, so many students feel disconnected, not just from their peers, but from what's going on in society. They feel locked out. They feel like life is passing them by. Sometimes they don't know if night is day or day is night anymore. So this is something that is not only speaking to communities around the world, but this is something that is needed. Teens want to create during this time. They want to connect, but they also want to create. And this is a period and a moment of deep creation. We are creating the platform to get their imagination going. They need it, they want it, and this is timely.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely. So you heard it. If you are out there in the Computer Clubhouse Network and you would like to take part in an episode of Gathering Steam, here is your invitation. You just heard it from Pierre Pinnock from the Smithsonian. And I want to hear from you. We want to tell your stories, and we would love to meet some of your students that are innovating within the realm of STEAM education. Pierre Pinnock, thank you so very much for this incredible honor. I'm so looking forward to kicking off this initiative with you folks.
Thank you for having us. This is very, very exciting. And I just want to add really quickly that this is an opportunity for us to connect with other teens around the world, teens in Scotland, teens in Sierra Leone. This will give us an even broader opportunity because the Computer Clubhouse is the seed, it's the beginning. But I believe that we will reach out and influence even more teens. So that's what's really exciting.
Absolutely. It's all about empowerment. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Pierre Pinnock. We will be in touch. And hey,
Okay.
you've got an idea for another Gathering Steam, hit me up. Let's do this thing.
Definitely.
All
We'll
right.
let you know.
All right.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank-
And there we have it. Another episode of Gathering Steam in the digital bag. My name is Sam Otero. They call me Mr. E. You're watching Gathering Steam. Thanks so much for the involvement here of our friends at the Computer Clubhouse. And of course, my agency, NCS, Fairfax County, and our new friends at the Smithsonian. Pierre Pinnock, our special guest tonight. Thank you so much once more. Blessings
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you. This was an honor as well because we're here for the children and what they need. And we're here to inspire them. We're here to actually feed the next generation. And so I'm really excited about the many, many children that are going to be inspired by our ideas and what we're launching. So I just see great things in the future.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, Pierre. So
Thank
that's it. We are out until next episode of Gathering Steam. I'm Mr. E. We'll see you around soon. Check out the links to the Computer Clubhouse and the Smithsonian National Museum of African Art. We'll see you soon.